He's not here.
Just ask them to raise their hands.
I'm sorry.
You'll know if they're not here if you ask them to speak up and they don't.
I don't see Talby, but maybe Chuck knows if he's supposed to be on or not.
Probably will not be with us today.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Izzy, are we ready?
Ready whenever you are. Just let them know.
Okay.
To start.
All right, I think we're ready. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for attending. We're going to start off with roll call. Deborah Carter.
Linda Camp.
Ray Golick, St. Louis County Transportation.
Chuck Stewart, by State Development.
Kevin Scott, by State Development.
Paul Hampel, St. Louis County Government.
Adam Spector, St. Louis County.
Patty Beck by State Development. For some reason, I don't have video right now. I'll try to get that fixed. But you can hear me, right?
Yeah. Oh, we can see you now too.
I can't see me. I have no idea how the camera is set.
Tammy.
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm coming in late. This is Tammy Fulbright with By State Development. I apologize.
No problem. Who was that before Tammy?
Patty Beck.
Patty, Tammy, and then there was someone else that said something.
Madam Chair, this is Jen from the County Counsel's Office. I have.
Okay. Okay, that looks like everybody.
I was going to say, and I see Pete Morrow's here too.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, we'll just get started and go down the agenda. The next would be old business updates. Anything anyone would like to add? Paul, we'll start with you.
Thanks very much, Chair Carter. I'd like to share just briefly a few recent key initiatives from county government. I'll start with Dr. Page's reconvening of the St. Louis County Crime Commission. For the second time in his administration, Dr. Page has reconvened this commission, which kind of an odd story. It was created 50 years ago, but apparently never met until Dr. Page took office in 2019 and restarted it as a sign of his commitment to protecting public safety in St. Louis County. Then it met just a couple of times before it went into hibernation again during the pandemic. But the commission held its first meeting again since then, late last month. And it's designed to serve as a review board for law enforcement and justice system policies and strategies. Also recently, and this is pretty exciting news for builders and business owners in our community, the county has rolled out a major improvement in its services with a new online permitting portal that will accelerate construction projects and save builders just a lot of time, money, and not to mention tons of paper. The new system is expected to save those who do business with the county about $24 million a year just in cost to print construction plans. If you've lived or worked for any amount of time in St. Louis County, you might have seen people scurrying across Central Avenue from the parking lot with their arms full of big reams of rolled up plans they had to haul up to the fifth floor and sometimes make extra trips back. And then somebody in the county would have to mark these up, and that's all gone by the wayside now. It's all become done by computer in real time, and it's just saving a lot of time and hassle for everyone. And also the county's moving forward with something called Project Cornerstone, and that's our plan to replace the government headquarters here in Clayton. The county has been tasked with bringing the old Roost building on Central up to a current fire code, which would require installation of a sprinkler system by January 1st, 2028. But that's going to cost about $50 million, and we're not pouring that money into this old building. So we're looking at new real estate locations. We're bound by the charter to remain in Clayton because it's the county seat. So we'll be in Clayton. How many employees will be stationed at the new headquarters? It remains to be seen. That will be another undertaking of Project Cornerstone, and also looking for new funding mechanisms for that. So those are three recent important initiatives in county government, and that's all I have to report today, Madam Chair.
Thanks, Paul. All three very interesting. Anybody have any questions for Paul? Okay. Thank you. Jen, anything you'd like to add?
No, ma'am.
Hello?
Were you speaking to me, ma'am? Jen Frank?
Yes, ma'am.
No,
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Okay. Are you stuck with us?
Am I stuck with you? No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay. I didn't anticipate you were going to be here, but okay. We'll move on to new business, Metro. Chuck?
Yes. Would you like for me to follow the agenda? I think Talby would be reporting on Metrolink expansion. So I don't know what the proposed or the current routes that are being considered in North County. Do you have that information, Patty? Yes, Patty. Does everyone else hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, you're coming through loud and clear.
I was just making sure because Patty didn't react. So also I think the north side, south side, North County expansion would be a Talby issue, and he's not here today. I think the new fare collection system would be a Tom issue, and I don't see Tom here today either. Any comments that you can make on the fare collection system, Kevin?
Just that they have retained Masabi, and probably Tammy is better to speak to this than I, but they have retained Masabi as the vendor, and the process continues to move forward. As far as timetables go, I do not have those, but I'll report on this a little bit later. The Secured Platforms Committee and the Fare Collection Committee continue to work hand in hand. Obviously, at the end of the day, the new fare collection system will fully integrate with the new gating system. Anything else, Tammy, that you think might be pertinent?
Yeah, so where we're at right now in the project is we have a request for information out on the street for TVMs and fare boxes. So that'll help us know what's out there, and then we'll be moving forward with the RFP for that after that. So that's the next step in the process.
Okay. Any questions on fare collection that we can answer or attempt to answer?
Mr. Stewart,
Yes.
I realized that you just mentioned that the 4 new Metrolink expansion alternatives would be something you'd want Talby to discuss, but are you saying though that there have been 4 routes that have now been sort of decided on, or?
No, I'm reading the agenda for the meeting that says 4 new. I know that there are certain routes in St. Louis County that are being considered, and there's due diligence being done at this point in terms of community involvement, that type of thing. And I think there is a map, I think, of 4 alternatives. I don't have that, but there's been no selection per se.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Ridership trends. Is it possible for me to share my screen? Can I try that? I'm going to try it.
Absolutely. Let me give
I'm
you
gonna try it.
presenter.
How about that? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
You can see the operations update.
Yeah, if you could make the type a little bigger, but I hope that isn't asking too much, but it's
Okay,
very
I think-
tiny.
I think you're asking a little too much there.
I was afraid so. Sorry.
Let me see. How's that? How's
Oh, there you go.
that? Okay, because I just want to share this page, system ridership at the top, and this is fixed route. So Metro Bus is the first column, and 7 million passengers year to date, 6.9% increase over this time last year. For the third quarter, we're up over 900,000 passengers, which is a total of 19%. Metrolink, almost 4 million passengers year to date, 8.6% up, 500,000 up for 20% over last year. And then Coloride is down 9% at 183,000 and 22,000 quarter to date. So, or quarter, third quarter. So a 15% reduction in that. So basically, this is showing that our ridership is increasing over last year, but I'm going to show you something in a few minutes that'll give that a good comparison for you. Let me see what else we have. I'm going to talk about Coloride more later, but as you can see, out of 47,000 trips requested during January, 18,000 we had vans unavailable, which is basically because of our shortage in operators. So this, I want to show you this particular graph or chart down below. This is a comparison of our fixed route ridership from fiscal year 19 through the current year. And I think the message here is, although ridership has increased in our current fiscal year 23, it is significantly down as compared to 19 and 20 before COVID set in. So during prior to fiscal year 20, we were enjoying over 30 million riders on Metrolink, and the past fiscal year was more like 18. So although we're recovering from that, we are nowhere near where we were prior to the pandemic. So I think this illustrates that pretty well. You can see these as I'm moving, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So one of the questions on the agenda is, or one of the statements is about the workforce shortage and the reduction in our service and the impact that it is having. And basically what we're showing is that what we're trying to do is to match up our resources with the service that we can provide. So as a result of reducing service, which is brought about by the need for additional operators, we are showing improvement in terms of the reliability of our service. For example, with our November service change, there was a reduction in missed trips of 2.5% in December and another 1.8% in January. We are planning another service change, a slight service reduction in March. Again, this is about having enough operators to provide the service that we're capable of providing. Our objective is more reliability, that people will understand that the bus will come. It may not come in the frequency that it used to come. There are some routes that are being cut shorter, that type of thing, but at least we'll be more reliable going forward. As you can see at the bottom here, these are our shortage numbers in terms of operators. We're about 200 operators down, about 20 Metrolink operators, and about 80 Caller-Ride operators, which again lends itself to the service issues that we've been having. And again, we're also down as it relates to maintenance and electricians in all areas. Anybody know anybody wants to drive a bus, drive a Metrolink train, drive a Caller-Ride, fix a bus, fix a train, whatever, please send them our way. I think that's all I want to share. Now, I don't know how to go back. Let me see here. Do I go back? Oh, okay, here we go. Stop sharing. That'll do it every time.
There you go.
All right, that'll do it every time. Sorry, took me a second to find that. But I want to share one other thing because I want to talk about Caller-Ride a little.
Okay, Chuck, before you move on, the question came from an article in the Buzz entitled, "Where did all the bus riders in St. Louis go?"
Yes, I read that.
Oh, did you read that? Okay. Okay, I want you to know that it wasn't me. It was actually an article that I read in one of your media pages. And it talked about, does cutting back service reinforce the problem of declining ridership? And your answer to that is that what you're creating is reliability.
We're trying to create reliability. We're matching up our ability to provide service with the service that is needed at this time. The fix to that, of course, is to hire additional operators and maintenance people. I missed that on that other slide. We are having greater success in the new year in terms of attracting people and getting them in training. As we are better able to man our operations, we will be able to provide better service, first of all, expand service maybe later, but right now we are focusing on reliability.
Do you think the riders will be there once you reach that point?
Oh, absolutely. I think they will. I know one of the reasons for the increases we're showing is our sports teams are all active again. So we've had some really good weekends the last few weeks with the soccer team, and baseball will be starting soon. You have the football team going. So I think those are our kind of discretionary riders, the people that we lost for a minute during COVID, but they're coming back now. We still have significant demand as it relates to our bread and butter rider, the person that's going to school, going to work, going shopping, those kind of things. So yes, I think the demand will definitely be.
Chuck, could I ask you a quick question? I didn't hear one statistic you cited. Did you say that the ridership had been about 30 million before the pandemic? Did you say?
I'll give you the exact numbers? Okay, so system-wide boardings, and that's how we measure our ridership, in fiscal year 19. Are you seeing this schedule since I brought it up? Or are you still seeing the other one? Anyway, fiscal year 19, we had over 36 million boardings. In fiscal year 20, which is when COVID started, it was down to 30 million. In fiscal year 21, it was at 17 million. And this past fiscal year 22, it was at 18. So those recovery numbers that I'm showing are compared to the previous years. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
So,
Appreciate it.
any other questions on that? So I want to talk just a minute about Coloride. We have to understand that Coloride is a service that complements our fixed route service. We're required, federal laws require us to provide this service within 3/4 mile of the fixed route of bus lines and Metrolink stations. So what had happened with Colorado is we had gotten out of that area. We had expanded because we had plenty of employees, we had plenty of vehicles, so we expanded that service. So a lot of these numbers that you're seeing in terms of missed trips are a result of us getting out of our required area of operation. So what we're doing now is we're bringing that service back into the required area. Can everyone see this map that I'm showing? Okay. So I'm colorblind. So if I misstate what color it is, please don't hold it against me. But I'm gonna call this area in the middle, I'm gonna call that gray. How about that? Gray or blue or something. Okay. And the area outlining that's a kind of a reddish orange kind of thing. So that area, the outside area, is where we were in terms of providing Coloride service. Okay. But as our fixed route system has shrunk, has been reduced, we were still providing service out here where the blue gray area is really what the service that's required as it relates to our federal mandate in terms of 3/4 mile. So that's what we're doing right now. We're shrinking back into this area. We should do this every time we have a service change as it relates to Metrobus and Metrolink. We had not been doing that. We had not done that since 2016. So we've kind of created this situation by not staying within the required boundaries. And this is what we need to do now. And of course, we need to do it because we just don't have the resources to serve a larger service area. So that's just wanted to give you that visual on what's happening with Colorado. Any questions concerning Colorado?
Yeah. Chuck, do you have any idea how much this is going to help our ADA response once we get back into the area we're supposed to be serving? Do you have any kind of information as to how many people are in those outlying areas?
So again, so you can see it in the stats that we've been presenting in terms of the denied trips. A lot of these are trips that were, once we shrink back into this required area, the denials will decrease. They will decrease because people that where there was not a mandated ride will no longer be calling for service, which will give us an opportunity to better serve the ADA transit passenger that is certified for the service. So we think it will improve the service to the people that Coloride was designed to serve.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you had any kind of clue as to how many people, regular riders, were in those outlying areas.
So as a result of bringing this, all of these requests are basically regular riders or people that would like to be regular riders. I think the people outside of the area that will be impacted in terms of individuals that were certified for the paratransit service, it's going to impact about 250 people. We have reached out to these people individually. Everybody that's being impacted, we've sent out postcards. We had a public meeting last week. We are reaching out, people are calling in. Wherever we can find an alternative for that person, we are trying very diligently to do that.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, any other Colorado questions? Oh, all right, I think we can move on down the agenda to finances. Tammy?
Yes, thank you. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about year to date through January, actual to budget, and just point out a few things on revenue and expense. For passenger revenue, we're up about 800,000 year to date. For the city of St. Louis sales tax, we're up about 4.2. And then it was noted St. Louis County is down about 7.5 million. Some of this is timing. So we knew some of it, the St. Louis County budget ends in December. And so there's a little bit of a timing issue there where we feel like we're going to pick up the amount we're supposed to get there through June. And anything that is not will be covered with COVID relief funds. And then I also wanted to just, I think I mentioned this last meeting that for federal funding, we are bringing in all of our COVID relief funding. So that's what's making the revenue section look a little bit out of whack, is because we're bringing those funds in. We have the opportunity to earn interest on some of that money as we go forward. So we're going to bring those funds in so that we can do that and help with other things that we may need in the future. And then also you'll note under other revenue, we're up about 1.6 million. That's primarily private donations for SPP. And then for interest income, we're up about 4 million, and that's really just due to the Fed increases. And so that means we're able to make more money on some of our funding. And then for expense, you'll see that we're actually under budget by about 17.9 million. So in total, if you backed out the federal funding that we're pulling in, we would be at an income of 27.8 million, which is primarily due to the shortage in operators and service being put out. And so that's where we're seeing that. Some of that, we hope that we'll be able to do some things as we move forward. But that's where we are on the year to date for January, if there's any questions.
Tammy, this is Deborah. When you
Yes.
talked about the shortage, the St. County shortage would be covered by the COVID relief funds. Is that by state funds or St. Louis counties?
By state.
Okay.
And Chair
what is
Carter,
that?
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to ask another question of you.
You can, go ahead.
So I was going to ask, I know we had on here the full budget to be presented, and we want to actually present that in the next meeting. But I thought if I could share my screen, I'd just kind of give a brief overview of where we are on the budget.
I think I would prefer you just wait until next month because we'll probably forget what you said, Tammy, honestly.
Okay, I understand.
Can we just do it all in one presentation?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, thank you. And you gave us some abbreviations. SPT, what is that?
Oh, the Secure Platform project.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions for Tammy? Okay, marketing.
Good afternoon. So if you look at the Marcom tab, the first page, page 2, we wanted to know what the positive and neutral sentiment was for last year. We had quite a big year, and we also had the flooding, which was devastating to our service and also financial means. For calendar year 2022, the combined positive and neutral sentiment was 74%. And that equated to $13 million in publicity value. If you turn the page and look at January, the share of sentiment between the positive and the neutral is 85%.
Tammy, can you give me the neutral?
I'm sorry?
Can you just give me the neutral for January?
On page 3?
I'm not
The
looking at
negative
the
was
report.
only 14%. The positive and negative combined was 85%. Neutral and positive sentiment.
Typically, you have it broken down separately. You don't have anything for neutral?
I'm having a hard time hearing you, Deborah.
Oh, okay. I'm just looking for the neutral sentiment for January.
January, neutral is 49.75%, positive 35.35%, and negative is 14.89%. So right at 15%. Does that answer your
Okay.
question?
It does. And my next question is, what are your thoughts on why the neutral is growing?
Neutral growing is not a bad thing. We put out a lot of information or may be mentioned in news stories as locators. Something may have happened, positive or negative, near one of our transit centers or one of our properties. 9 times out of 10, when we do the service changes, it's just a minor adjustment. Recently, we've been trying to align our resources with the service so that we can provide reliable service for our customers. That the past few times has been negative because it is negatively impacting our customers, but there are all kinds of things which there are mentions. I put out news releases on bi-state development committee meetings, board meetings, awards that we win. There's a lot of work being done that isn't just positive. Obviously, we're trying to garner and let the entire region know how many positive things we're doing for the region, but we're also doing many things which are classified in the sentiment area as neutral. They're neither negative nor positive. So the neutral is a very good thing. And when you combine that with a positive, basically, 3 out of 4 stories are positive or neutral, and that's a good thing. Obviously, we'd like the positive number to be higher, but as long as the neutral number is high and that's our goal, then we are in good shape.
That is your goal? Why is neutral a good thing? Don't you want it to move?
Well, obviously the goal is always to get it in the positive category. Some stories, like I said, are not always attainable in the positive. Somebody else may be talking about us, not in a negative way, but it may be something that we're not driving. As long as it's not something negative that could hurt or damage our brand, neutral is a good thing. So to grow the positive and neutral numbers is a good thing. To decrease the negative sentiment, obviously, is something that we work very hard to combat. But things are going to happen. Things are going to happen in our community, on our system. And, the flood had a negative impact on our customers, continues to have on our customers, especially on the blue line, because we are not back to normal Metrolink service. These service changes, the caller ride has been skewing primarily this month as negative because it is going to have a negative impact on some of our customers, and those are the customers who are reaching out to the media. The customers who are going to see more reliability that Chuck talked about, they're not the ones who typically go to the media. So we do our very best to manage that and to grow the positive as well as the neutral and to combat the negative as best as we can. Does that make sense, Chairman?
Kind of. But thank you, Tammy. The thing is that I think that you are doing a fantastic job. So don't take it that I'm saying anything negative with you guys. And so because I think that you're doing such a great job, I think you sent us, maybe 7 or 8 articles of things that are going on. And it's been like that for a while. So I don't think it's, marketing. I'm just curious, it's gone up, over 10% since December. So that's why I asked the question.
Much better to have it go neutral than negative. That's the good thing. Some of the recent examples, Deborah, in the last couple of weeks that would be classified as positive, some people may see them as neutral, are news releases, our blogs, our social media pushes for soccer, which is very hot in St. Louis and has started, and football yesterday, encouraging residents around the region to hop on Metrolink to be delivered right to the venue where these exciting sporting events are taking place. And baseball will be starting here at the end of the month. So we're excited about seeing some of, the occasional riders, and we'll be pushing and promoting to take Metrolink for $5 round trip. And those will come in as negative, not negative, I'm sorry. Those will not come in as a negative. Those will come in as positive and neutral. And we will get media coverage as we have over the last couple of weeks.
Okie dokie.
The rest of the Marcom report, some of the examples of a lot of the work that we have been doing. On page 6, in January, we had a hiring event. Those have moved to quarterly events now at our central facility. We are trying to personalize the people who are looking to join our team. So on social media, we introduced you to 2 folks who are actually at the hiring event. They both got offers to begin training for Metro Bus and Metro Caller Ride, and we'll be following their journeys as they progress and hopefully make it through the training phases and become certified as operators and join our transit team. You've probably seen information out there about the UPass, generated a little bit of buzz about the passes for our university students as part of the CMT College Transit Challenge in the last week or two. We are doing everything we can to focus on customer experience. And as you know, that was one of our strategic planning processes. So we are looking at that across the board. The journey map shows us where we might be lacking and can do a better job to improve the experience for all of our customers in transit. And then at the end are some of the news releases that we did put out to garner positive and in some aspects neutral sentiment, publicity. Some of them are not overly positive, but they are important and would be neutral because it's important that we educate and make not only our customers, but the region aware of the things that we're doing, and perhaps changes or adjustments to service or improvements that are coming. Does anyone have any questions at this time?
Good. Don't come back in.
No questions? Then that concludes the marketing communications report. Kevin?
I'm assuming I'm next.
You're next.
Okay. As always, I'd like to yield to Captain Morrow, who's on the line, if he has any comments that he would like to make.
Thanks, guys. I have just a few. The last time we met, I told you that I had one officer in the real-time camera center, and now I've got 2. It's been very effective, and it's working out very well. We got some things workflow-wise that we're trying to work through, but as far as the effectiveness of the cameras, we're hitting it out of the park. Certainly, like I mentioned last time, a force multiplier, without a doubt, allowing us to be where we need to be at the right time. So I think I also told you last time that we had about 61 incidents in our February meeting that my officer took part in down there, whether, regardless of whether it was criminal or check the welfare or something along those lines. Well, as of the 11th of March, she has been involved in 139 incidents, wherein she passed information to officers or transit or allied or TSS. Either they passed it to her or she passed it to them in order to get something done. So we more than doubled our output on that end. I am working with Andrea Jumper about getting an hourly breakdown of calls for service for us. She's creating hopefully a manageable spreadsheet for me to figure out to help us allocate our resources. And lastly, I work both Mardi Gras. My officers and I work both Mardi Gras and St. Pat's. Mardi Gras was it was just a complete overflow of college students coming downtown, mostly from I suspect WashU and a few other spots. St. Pat's was almost nothing. Almost nobody rode it. I thought that was interesting. So whatever that means, I don't know. But we didn't have much to do last Saturday. Anyway, that's all I got. Kevin, you're up.
Any questions on anything that the captain had to say before we move on? All right. Secured platform plan. I see that it's back on the agenda. The update that we provided either last month or the month before, really not a whole lot has changed. Please recall that Secure Platform Plan, or SPP as we like to refer to it, includes security gating and fencing, the upgrading and the reconfiguration of closed circuit television on the platforms in our fixed facilities, our transit facilities, as well as upgrading camera systems, a lot of old analog technology on buses and trains. We'll also have the capability at the end of the day, when the project is fully realized, to have live feed or live access to those vehicles. So secure platforms, the gating, the fencing, and the reconfiguration of our closed circuit television, working in conjunction with, as Tammy mentioned, the fare collection side to make sure that the new fare collection system and the hardware will integrate with the gating system when it's installed. We currently have 38 Metrolink locations, 39 with the soon to be constructed Mid-America Airport platform. All 39 locations will be gated and fenced uniformly. The technology that integrates into the gating system, the cameras, will all be accessible and controllable from the real-time camera center. So the gating system itself, we have chosen a RotoGate swing door type system. And am I able to share, whoever's in control of the meeting, am I able to share my screen?
Sir, I will make you presenter.
All right.
You have the presenter role.
All right. So this is a rendering. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, so this is a rendering of a RotoGate swing door system. And this was something that we pushed out months and months and months ago. All right. But this is the general concept. Now, all we did was take this rendering and plop it down into a current rendering of Central West End. As you can see, there's no gating or no fencing or any further security considerations. So the only reason I'm showing you this is to give you an idea of what a swing or RotoGate swing door system looks like. So this is the concept that we've chosen. Now, of the RotoGates and the swing doors, there's probably 4 or 5 different variables or different products out there. We have not selected the exact product yet. We are trying to balance the RotoGate, a balance of security, but also a little bit less institutional, I should say. I think there are some systems out there that will allow us to do that, but we still are working through that with engineering, with the engineers. But the primary flow will be through the RotoGates. And then for ADA compliance and major ingress and egress, we will have the swing door access. The swing doors themselves will most likely be solid panel. On the inside of the swing doors, they'll have a crash bar where you can have emergency egress capability. And we certainly don't want anybody reaching through the gate, releasing the swing door. We also anticipate that the swing doors themselves will be controlled by the real-time camera center. So someone in an ADA type scenario would walk up, would push a button, correspond with the real-time camera center. They would release the gate and monitor the gate as the person ingressed through the gating system itself. If the gate is propped open or held, an alarm, audible and silent alarm will sound, and the analytics in the new closed circuit television system the analytics will prompt the real-time camera center for visual. So that is just a general concept of what we're looking at moving forward. We have also received a technical paper from HNTB, who is the engineering firm, regarding fencing or fencing systems. We have several different fencing systems that we're looking at. Decision has not been made. We're hoping to meet next week to decide what fencing system allows us, first and foremost, a balance between enhanced security, but also provide some complementary aesthetics. So again, that's a work in progress. I will continue to update you on the fencing system as we move forward. Just as a reminder, this is a $52 million project, the majority of which is coming from bi-state and bond refinancing, but also there's $11 million, $10.75 million in private funding for this project. And we are going to roll out in 6 different phases. Phase 1 will be 4 stations, and it will be our pilot rollout to see how the gating and the fencing systems work, how the CCTV system integrates. And we also are rolling out a smaller footprint in phase 1 because we most likely will not have technical integration with the new fare collection system yet. So those locations, the first 4 locations will have to be staffed. The last consideration in choosing those 4 locations was which platforms provide the least amount of reconcepting by the engineers. So those will be Emerson Park, Jackie Joyner Kersey, Washington Park, and SWIC, which is Southwestern Illinois College. And we are moving to bid construction on those 4 platforms in August of this year. As we push those 4 platforms out to bid, phase 2, which will be 7 platforms, will be in final design right behind. We anticipate those platforms being Forest Park, Central West End, Cortex, Grand, Union Station, Civic Center, and Delmar. So basically from Delmar east to Civic Center. Again, we have security considerations in choosing those 7 locations because there is also a possibility that we may have to staff those depending on where we are with fare collection integration. So package 1 is 4 stations. And then the other stations, the other 5 packages, all consist of 7 stations moving forward. With this cascading construction effect, or this cascading plan, we're hoping to shave significant time off the total project. If we waited for all 39 platforms to be designed and constructed, we would see a significant delay, possibly 2020, late 26, maybe early 27 before we would realize any construction at all. That's not acceptable. The other benefit to rolling out the smaller package, the 4 stations as package number 1, also allows the public to see what the gating systems will look like. And we can see what type of interaction we have with those and where we may need to make improvements moving forward in the other packages. So with that, the only other thing that I would like to comment on is we have a very robust marketing campaign in place for secure platforms. Our marketing and communications team working hand in hand with Vector Communications. And we have done a number of community engagements thus far, and we will continue to do so. We can provide that information for you if you'd like to see what we've done and what we have planned moving forward. Tonight, right after I leave here, I'm going to the University City Board of Aldermen meeting to present SPP to them. We were in Brentwood and Clayton last week. And so we will continue to present and communicate to the region, keeping the throttle fully pressed to the floor to make sure that the messaging is right. At the end of the day, I think when the gating system and the fare collection system is realized and we have complete integration, I think we make MetroLink much safer. I think we have done a significant amount over the last 3.5 years without many hardscape changes. But I think this is an overall complement to where we're trying to go with the light rail system, and look forward to seeing these gating systems go into place. That's a lot of information. Now, one other thing real quick before I let you guys go is Captain mentioned the Real-Time Camera Center. The Real-Time Camera Center is a work in progress. It is located here at Metro Transit Central Facility on Spruce. Cameras are live. We have it staffed 24/7. We continue to upgrade cameras and add cameras and server space. And then shortly, as we reconfigure some of the technology, our public safety communications people will move into an adjacent room here in this facility where you'll have public safety dispatch and you'll have your real-time camera center working in concert, but completely separate functions. And what the real-time camera center does right now, 800 cameras, soon to be around 1,600. What it does is it allows us to take this technology that enhances all of our security human assets, and it forms a profound force multiplier so that we can stay out in front of things. Just earlier, I was in the camera center watching the folks in there, the law enforcement folks, following a group of people on the system, working to intercept them before things made a left turn. So we're already realizing significant benefits from our real-time camera center. But as we continue to build it out, improve the technology, make it better, it will become more and more of an asset. Now, that being said, if anybody, will always offer this, if anybody would like to come in and see firsthand what we're doing, I know Paul and some other folks have been in here well before SPP started, when we were highlighting some of the changes that we've made pursuant to the WSP analysis that was done in the 99 security recommendations. But there's been some significant progress as we move forward, and we would be more than willing to set aside time to spend one-on-one time discussing and showing, so that you can see when I come on here once a month and talk about SPP, you can really see firsthand what we're doing. So with that, any questions that you might have?
I had a question, Kevin.
Sure.
So you're bidding out the phase 1 in August. When do you think that phase 1 would be up and running?
So my anticipation is that we'll probably be in construction sometime at the end of this year. Probably see phase 1 completed first quarter of next year, and then remember phase 2 is in final design right behind it. So as we roll these out in a cascading package, that final design period is about 80 days. So we move package 1 to construction, package 2 moves into final design. And quite frankly, in reality, there is some overlapping design going on anyway. So we may find with the design, the true design, that we're designing faster than we anticipated, final design or final concepting, and that maybe we package some of the packages and have less construction bidding. But our hope was that by bidding these in smaller packages, that provides a market for smaller construction firms to also bid, and opens up the market a little bit more to handle. If we bid this in totality, it's a pretty significant undertaking for any company.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Anything else? Well, that's all I have. So, Mr. Stewart, pass this back to you, sir.
Chuck, I don't think you've got your microphone on.
So Kevin didn't hear me say that I'm not in charge, right?
You are in charge.
So, Chairman Carter, is there anything else that you require from us today? Oh, I think we got St. Louis County Transportation. Is there someone?
Deborah, did you fall asleep? Well, I don't know what happened to Deborah, but I guess we want to go on to Adam or Ray
Adam, yeah. Adam or Ray?
from St. Louis County.
I'm gonna say we just got the same old stuff going. We don't really have anything new or interesting to report. Unless anybody has any questions for us.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you now.
Oh, okay. I don't really know what happened. But thank you. Everybody did a good job of being in charge. I appreciate it. Izzy, would you just note for the record, the James Cotter is here?
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you. Is there any thing else that anyone would like to discuss? If not, thank you all again for your participation, and stay warm this week. It's supposed to be a little chilly.
Stay warm and stay dry. It's supposed to rain again.
Yes, ma'am, you're right. All right, everybody take care until next month.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you, everyone.